everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Abby and today I want to make marshmallows. I have never done that before and I'm not exactly sure why I want to do it now. I got a cookbook when I got married and it has a recipe for marshmallows in it, and I think it was at that point that I decided I wanted to make marshmallows. Some people might question why I don't just go buy marshmallows if I want marshmallows, because it is really not expensive. I think it'd be fun to try to do, and I've never done it before, and I don't even have a candy thermometer like it says to have. There's other ways to figure out where your sugar's at without a candy thermometer, so I'm going to be doing that and seeing if it works. Recipe book. You don't get to see it, it's mine. I'm not, of course, just gonna make normal marshmallows because why would I make it easy for myself? I'm going to also add in the small challenge of mixing peppermint extract in there to make them peppermint marshmallows because holidays. Looks like you need a 1/3 cup powdered sugar, 2.5 tablespoons of unflavored gelatin, 1/2 cup cold water, 1.5 cups granulated sugar, 1 cup corn syrup, 1/4 teaspoon salt, another 1/2 cup of water, 1 teaspoon of peppermint extract, and then red food coloring. This is the part where I wish I were a cooking show, where someone, probably a PA, would have gotten that stuff for me. Found my food coloring. Where'd my cat go? This cat is biting my foot. Okay, there you go. Since we're going to be cooking, I'm gonna put my hair back. I don't want hair in my marshmallows. My hair is now tied back, so here we go. I don't currently have access to the bigger dish, so we're gonna go with the smaller one, and if it doesn't all fit in here, I have an even smaller one. We're just gonna live our lives like that, maybe make extra thick marshmallows because I can't deal with washing the other one because it has lasagna in it right now. I'm gonna start by buttering up this dish. I don't mean complimenting it, though it is a very good dish. A very, very good dish. You do well. I should probably have another camera angle because you're not gonna be able to see a whole lot from there. So what I typically do when I'm greasing up a dish with butter is I use a napkin instead of my hands. Ooh. Don't need that product placement in here. So you're gonna take your powdered sugar and you're gonna sprinkle it in there. And then you are going to knock it around a bit until it's coated all sides. So what I mean is you take it and you shake it a bit, or you hit it. I do this over a sink because you would get powdered sugar everywhere if you did not. So it's gonna look like that. It's all powdery. Okay, now that that's done, we're gonna get out my stand mixer. I need this one. We're gonna use 1/2 cup of cold water, and then you're gonna take your gelatin. It says I need 2.5 tablespoons of that. That's a concerning noise. Okay. So we're gonna find out how many packets that is, because I honestly don't know. Okay. We're not even at like the whole thing, and I used like, I feel like I need to use like 3 and a tiny bit packets here. We're gonna leave that to soften, and while that's happening, we're gonna move on. Now comes the part where I'm nervous about, and that is boiling sugar in a pot. It says saucepan. I don't think this is a saucepan. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. What is a saucepan? I've watched a lot of the Great British Baking Show, and whenever they do anything that has to do with like melting sugar or boiling sugar, they do it in a pan that looks like this. So I'm just gonna go off that because that is the extent of my baking knowledge. Sugar, corn syrup, salt, and water over medium heat. And you gotta stir that constantly. Stir with what though? This is like the most sugar I've used for any recipe ever. Sweet, sweet corn syrup. I'm kind of scared about what I can use in boiling sugar, like what would melt. So it says a clean stainless steel spoon is what you're supposed to use if you have to stir it. I'm gonna make sure mine is extra squeaky clean because I don't want the sugar to crystallize. It's a lot of sugar. Stirring constantly until sugar is dissolved. Then heat to boiling and cook uncovered for 25 minutes without stirring. Okay, here we go. I'm very, very nervous about this. I don't know if you can see, but I'm starting to see the very, very bottom of the pot when I'm stirring it. So I think it's getting close. I think the sugar might be dissolved. Now it says to turn this up to boiling temperature and to let it boil for about 25 minutes. I'm gonna set that on a timer because I'm not sure. It also wants you to test it when we get to that point to make sure that it's in the right stage of sugar, whatever that means. The only other thing that I've learned from the Great British Baking Show is that to help it not crystallize on the sides, you can take a brush and drip water down the sides. We're gonna find out, try that, and hopefully I don't ruin this, because if I do, I'm not gonna restart. I may or may not have ruined this. I'm gonna get some of it, some of the really hot sugar, pour it into there. Unfortunately, I think it's in the hard crack stage, which is not what you want it to be doing. So this is bad. I think I burned it. You remember how I said I wouldn't try again if I messed up? That might have been a lie. Don't know if you can see how dark that is, but the sugar isn't supposed to look like that. So I'm gonna restart. I'm just gonna let that do its thing over here in the mess up area, and we are gonna restart. Okay, it's looking a little darker now. So then I'm gonna do another test. Just grab some out, pour it in. What does it do? So it made a ball that you can kind of squish between your fingers. So I think that's the stage that I want it. So I'm gonna take it off the heat. So now it says to have it on low while you pour the syrup in. There's the gelatin. We're gonna pour the syrup in there. So I'm gonna beat it for 6 to 8 minutes on high. And then once I do that, I add a teaspoon of peppermint extract and beat for another minute. So we have our container. And we have our marshmallow fluff. So it looks like this. It's gonna take this and pour it in here. I have another container that I'm gonna do. We're just gonna do some drops in there. And we're just gonna swirl it around in the very, very top layer of your marshmallow. I think I might have done too much food coloring, so just keep in mind when you do food coloring, it's very pigmented. So that is kind of basically where we're stopping for right now. These marshmallows take 8 hours to overnight to cool down enough for you to cut them and make actual marshmallows. Right now it's just kind of like this goopy marshmallow mess in there that I have ruined with so much red dye. So that's on me, really. I guess I will see you in 8 hours and I will cut them up and taste test them and see how they turned out. It's really good that it takes 8 hours for them to stand because I have about 8 hours worth of dishes I now need to complete from this recipe. So I'll be doing that in the meantime. So it is a whole other day now. I made the marshmallows yesterday and they were supposed to sit overnight to set up. Now I'm going to try to take them out of the containers and cut them into marshmallow pieces. The instructions told me that to cut them, you should take your knife and put butter on it so that it won't stick. And then once you're done cutting them, you're supposed to kind of coat them in powdered sugar so they don't stick to each other, I guess. So if you just throw them. So I finished cutting them all up. I have 2 containers of marshmallows now, which is more marshmallows than I will ever need in the next 3 weeks. I'm gonna try it now. I'm not sure how well these turned out. Ignore my cat making noises in the background. So I haven't had a marshmallow in a very, very long time, but I'm pretty sure these taste like good marshmallows. At least they have the right texture, I think. I feel like there's a lot more peppermint flavor than I was expecting, but overall pretty good, especially for my first attempt at making marshmallows. But I will be putting these in my hot chocolate for sure. So that is going to do it for this episode. I hope you had fun watching me attempt making marshmallows. Do you want to eat a marshmallow on camera? Or do not? My husband doesn't want to be on camera. Great, perfect. Well, tastes like a marshmallow is gonna go on the label. Anyway, if I don't see you before the holidays, have good holidays. I'm gonna spend the next few hours trying to get this sugar out of the bowl because that still hasn't happened and it's already been a day. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, your week, your month. I don't know how long it's gonna be till I upload next, so cover all the bases. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! I mean, they look marshmallowy.